In this video, we will go through how to use Cura. Make sure you have completed the steps in the Configuring Cura video before continuing with this video. Okay, in Cura, we generally work from left to right. So we would import our .stl files. We would choose the type of printer that we want to use, either the smaller Ultimaker 2 Plus, or we've also set it up for the larger 2 Plus extended. I'm going to use the 2 Plus. Here, we would choose what nozzle type we would want to use. A finer 0.4 is what most of the machines have, but we also provide a faster, cruder 0.6 nozzle. And over here, we're able to get more settings by clicking on Custom, and we can choose those profiles that we downloaded in the previous video. This N04 stands for nozzle 0.4. So in this case, I couldn't use this profile because I have a 0.6 nozzle selected. The only profiles I can use are the ones with the N06. To start with, we open up our files. Click on this folder, and we can click the Shift key and select more than one file. Click Open, and those files are arranged on the platform. We're in the Prepare tab. We can click on Model, and then that allows us to move the objects around, or you can just drag them around. We can also scale, although it's best that you have the object already scaled before you bring it in. We can rotate. And this button here is really useful under the Rotate tab. It's the Lay Flat button. It's best if our objects are laying nice and flat on the platform, but sometimes you will have an object that is perhaps slightly on an angle. If you get it close to where you want it to lay flat and you click on the Lay Flat button, it'll make it nice and flat on the platform. It looks like these two objects are touching each other. If I go Auto Arrange All Model or Control R, it'll arrange those models nicely so that they're on the platform in a nice position. We also have the mirror button, which isn't used so much, per model settings, which would allow you to have multiple settings per print job. I'm not going to go into that in this tutorial. And then there's also a support blocker if you don't want supports in a certain area. All right, working from left to right. I've chosen that to use the Ultimaker 2 Plus, which is the smaller of the printers. Looks like my job will fit. And I'm going to use a 0.6 nozzle. I'm just blocking out these buildings for a model, so I don't really need them to be very high quality. Also, this building doesn't have gentle curves, so you won't notice the coarse setting with the 0.6 nozzle and the large layer height. And then over here, I am in the Customs tab. I'm going to choose that profile that we downloaded. It'll be under here. And because I'm using a 0.6 nozzle, I can only use one of these two. I'm going to go with this bottom profile with a 0.6 nozzle. In here, there are a lot more settings that you can tinker with. I won't be going into that in this tutorial. Most of the time, the settings that we've given you under the profile that you've downloaded will be fine. You do want to make sure that you have supports turned on. So under the Supports tab, make sure that's turned on. Okay, ready to slice. Once it's sliced, we can click the Preview button here, or the same thing here, Preview, and it shows us the Gcode simulation. We can use this slider to see layer by layer what's created. I like to change the material color to line type. And now I can see that in blue are the helpers, or the support. Here we have the blue is the brim, is also classified as a helper to help it print properly. Underneath we can see that it's nice and flat on the platform, and that should print successfully.
Alright, I'm now going to upload this to 3D Printer OS. So to do that, I'm going to click on this here and upload to 3D Printer OS, and I'll need to log in. Now, a single file, we'll just put it into the root directory, and a project file is like a subdirectory, and you can share that project file if you're doing group work. Now here, we need to make sure that we name the file correctly so it goes on the right printer. I know here that I wrote it for an N06 machine, so I'm going to leave all of this but I am going to put in here N06. Click on upload, and now really the only useful one here is go to cloud.